Hey folks, welcome back to the North Carolina Sports Network. One of my favorite guests. It's been a couple of years since I chatted with him, and he's accomplished even more since our last chat. Of course, Dave Clawson of Wake Forest. He is now among the 10 longest tenured coaches at the same school in all of major college football. Coach, it is great to see you again. Welcome back to the David Glenn Show. How are you?
It's great to be back. Always enjoy our conversations and some of the banter, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Oddly, we were born within 24 hours of each other long ago before we started this beautiful relationship. This is a crazy list. You probably know this because Will dug these numbers out. The only ACC football coaches, and I've covered this league 35 years now, who have more bowl victories than you do while at an ACC school are named Bobby Bowden, Dabo Swinney, Frank Beamer, and Danny Ford. I know you're not a me guy, but tell me what it means to you that your name is on that list now. They're the only 4 guys with more bowl victories than your 5 with the Demon Deacons.
That's news to me, so I didn't know that. And those are certainly coaches of a caliber that I don't think I've accomplished with what they have in their careers. But I think it speaks to longevity, consistency, and quite honestly, what a great job I've done hiring our coaching staff. You know, we've had a great consistent staff, which I think produces consistent results.
The 2021 ACC Coach of the Year, Dave Clawson, is joining us. You are also the only head coach, and Will's going to get a pay raise by the end of this conversation, who has ever won 10 or more games at 4 different universities. Now, you don't have a secret sauce, you have told me in the past, but what are those elements that go into building Fordham, then Richmond, then Bowling Green, and now this full decade almost at Wake Forest?
I think it's over 24, 25 years, and so I think there's some core values that you never, ever leave. But with so many other things, you have to have flexibility. Recruiting is different now. The players have changed, offensive and defensive schemes change, but our core values have remained the same. And I think everything we've done is always to play the long game. The goal was always to build a consistent program that was sustainable, and we were able to do that at all 4 places.
Coaching can be a nomadic existence for some. A decade is a long time. How do you put into words why and how the Winston-Salem area and the state of North Carolina, and specifically the Wake Forest community, have essentially become home for you and your family?
I just think when you find a place that you feel is a good philosophical fit, if you're happy, why would you leave? And my family has loved living in Winston, and my kids have grown up in Winston, and my wife's happy, and there's great doctors and great restaurants, and Wake Forest is a school that I believe in. I think it's a school that does what it says it does, and so you're never, philosophically torn of doing something or working at a place that you're not in alignment with.
You've talked with us in the past a lot about the athletic, academic, community balance. I don't know where you put into your formula really cool facilities, but within the last 48 or so hours, I've met Mr. Bob McCreary, and I believe the number is 700 or so Wake Forest supporters contributed toward what I read was a $38 million project. How do you emphasize the importance of that within your broad approach to winning football at Wake?
Well, I think it just speaks that we take football very seriously at Wake Forest. I think there's this, quite frankly, a lazy narrative out there that somehow at Wake Forest football isn't valued or we take it seriously. And if you look at the investment we've made facility-wise, totaled up, it's over $120 million over the last 7 years. And guys like Bob McCreary, Ben Sutton, and so many others have made sacrificial contributions, but it's also been a lot of people. And you don't get that type of investment if you're not supported by the institution. And when you look at our record over the past 7 years, we're right up there at the top of the ACC. And so I'm fortunate to have been the head coach at Wake Forest during a time that we've been supported. And you don't win football games without institutional support, donor support, and obviously a great staff and great players.
Dave Clawson with us here on the North Carolina Sports Network. My 2 children happen to be 24 and 20 years old, which is not much different than your locker room ages. Is it an inappropriate analogy to say that young kids on Christmas Day might react to their presence under the tree, similarly to the way you just saw 100 football players react to those locker rooms and that players' lounge?
Absolutely, and a lot of that came from when we opened our indoor in 2016. When we first opened it, and Bob saw the reaction of the players and how excited they were. It was said it was one of his favorite moments as a Wake Forest, alum, donor, supporter. And when he gave money for the new facility, he said, "I want that moment again," and it was amazing. I mean, the players, that was genuine. That was not fake, and we have a great facility now.
I think of you as just a really cool human being before I get into like being a great football coach and other things. On a human level, when you have to say goodbye to Sam Hartman, a guy you recruited, a guy you're through 5 years of a lot more ups than downs, but just togetherness. Is it a mixture of disappointment and excitement for him? Just how do you deal with that? Because you never want to see one of the best quarterbacks in school history finish his career.
Listen, I love Sam Hartman, and I still love Sam Hartman. And Sam Hartman gave us 5 great years. And Sam was very upfront. He said he wanted to go to the NFL, but if there was a incredible NIL opportunity at another school, he'd certainly have to look at it. So Sam never lied. He was very upfront, and we were very supportive. So that guy gave us everything for 5 years. Broke all types of records, led us to bowl games, and did things great. And I love Sam, and that'll be a lifetime relationship. And on Father's Day, he sent me one of the nicest texts I've ever got from a former player. So we love Sam. We'll support him in every game but one next year. But that will be a lifetime relationship. And again, there are 0 hard feelings on that. He was very upfront and honest, and we're happy for him.
Last football question, and then some lightning round things. We'll get you on to your next stop in the car wash. Mitch Griffiths is among your players here. Mm-hmm. He is the starter on the depth chart. What is your quick summary of just what the new look of the quarterback depth chart looks like?
I don't know if it's going to be a new look. It's kind of maybe a retro look. I think his skill set is very similar to what John Wolford was like.
Okay.
A little shorter, extremely accurate, great arm strength, athletic, all those intangible qualities you want in a quarterback. He's smart, he's a great teammate, he's genuine. Every year you go into the season with concerns. You're always going to be relatively stronger in some areas than others. Quarterback isn't one of our big concerns this year going into the season. Mitch has been with us now 4 years. He's ready to do this.
Rapid fire, as short as you need to be. Getting to know you just a little bit better. Beach house, lake house, or mountain house in an ideal Clawson mindset?
For Dave Clawson, it's lake house. For Catherine Clawson, it's beach house. Therefore, it's beach house.
Good answer.
Okay.
Favorite sport beyond football that you follow or appreciate?
I was always a huge basketball fan, and I still love watching Wake Forest basketball games, but I've really got into soccer, Premier League soccer lately, because my son is a big fan of it. So we've been to Crystal Palace, Chelsea games. It's really a fun sport.
You've given us some Talking Heads references over the years. Favorite musical performers? Are they still somewhere up there?
Yeah, I even saw the David Byrne's American Utopia before it went off Broadway, and what an incredible show. I saw Genesis in their last concert. Nice. Unbelievable show. And here's one for you. I even saw Howard Jones a week ago in Charlotte, and it was 68 years old. Still a great show. So it's my musical taste haven't changed. I think that's pretty embedded.
It's a nice eclectic mix there. Favorite family trip outside the United States over the years?
I'd say 2 of them. This year we went to Tuscany and got a villa there, and just incredible. Went to Florence a few times, but my wife mostly grew up in Paris. And so going to Paris and Normandy and the Loire Valley with her has been a really special family trip.
And the last thing, I've lost count of the nice things you've done for us at the David Glenn Show over the years, but I've learned there's one more nice thing you can do as we thank you and say goodbye. You like pork. That's good.
I like pork.
Our sponsor is the North Carolina Pork Council.
If they want to send me some pork chops, I'm telling you, if you put a nice pork chop on the grill and season it the right way, it's right up there with a great steak.
So if I hit you with Eastern barbecue versus Western versus pork chops or ribs versus bacon or some other pork product, are you going ribs or are you going?
Well, it's if you don't pick bacon first, you're not American. So it's like bacon, and then there's the competition for 2, 3, 4, and 5.
But
so
it's all of the above, basically.
I'd say I'd go bacon, ribs, pork chops, and then pulled pork would be at the bottom for me.
That is a winning answer, Coach,
Okay,
for a
thank
lot
you.
of different reasons. Thanks for being with us. It's
Yeah,
great to see you
good to
again.
see you.
His name is Dave Clawson. Think about that list again. Bobby Bowden, Dabo Sweeney, Frank Beamer, Danny Ford. We're talking Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame already in 3 cases, going to be in another case. Dave Clawson's 5 bowl victories with the Demon Deacons rank only behind those 4 other Atlantic Coast Conference football coaches. The 2021 ACC Coach of the Year. And thanks to Will from Wake Forest, I did not know this, maybe Coach Clawson didn't until about 10 minutes ago, the only head coach in NCAA football history to win 10 or more games in a single season at 4 different schools. For Coach Clawson, that's Fordham, Richmond, Bowling Green, and now a decade at Wake Forest University. An unbelievable story, a great man. Appreciate his time today as he's making his way through the car wash at the 2023 ACC Kickoff event. Special thanks again to the North Carolina Pork Council for helping us bring all this coverage live from Charlotte. More coming at you soon from the David Glenn Show and the North Carolina Sports Network.